Good morning, baseball. It is your boy Adamar Sports here, back with my lovely co-host, Franklin P. Helmstetter. I like that you changed your YouTube name to that, by the way. Frank's middle name does not start with a P, by the way. Just throwing that out there. But, Frank Helmstetter, how the heck are you? Watch any games lately?
Yeah, man, I'm doing well. I did not the past couple of days. I've kind of been I've just been super busy. So, excited to talk about some stuff, kind of get myself caught up a little bit. I've seen some, good highlights and stuff, but I definitely got to be watching a little more. So, yeah, man. But how you doing?
Yeah, I feel you there, man. I'm doing pretty well. I'm about to head to Miami. We gotta do a quick recording session today because I gotta get packed and ready to go. Mena's coming home from work. I got her dog back here, so at some point you might see a dog pop up behind me. We're hiding from the fireworks right now, the scary boom booms in the sky. So, anyways, baseball exists and happened yesterday, believe it or not. So let's take a look at what happened around the game of baseball. Now, in order to leave at 6 a.m. for Miami, we did have to record a little bit early today. So some of these games are currently going on, so just keep that in mind. We'll start with the games that are finished so far. The Mariners stomping on the Padres. 8-2 final over there. Chris Flexen getting the W in that one. The Mets, 7-4 victory over the Reds. Pretty self-explanatory there. The better team won. Giants lose 8-3 to the Diamondbacks. Mad Bum getting revenge on his former team. Brewers 5-2 victory over the Chicago Cubs in extra innings. Walk-off home run for Victor Caratini. Little golf clap for him. Congratulations. Royals had a nice little lead against the Astros, but blew it on a walk-off home run for Yordan Alvarez. 7-6 victory for the Astros. Red Sox shut out the Rays 4-0. Little bullpen game there. Cutter Crawford getting the W. Most elite name in bullpen history, arguably. Cutter Crawford. The Tigers, 2-game doubleheader sweep of the Cleveland Guardians, breaking out the brooms for them. Orioles 7-6 victory over the Texas Rangers. Matt Moore gets the loss. You know how they lost? Walk-off hit by pitch. Walk-off hit by pitch. So anyways, we got the Marlins winning, beating the Washington Nationals. 3-2 victory for the Marlins there. Braves in a rain delay currently 6-1 over the Cardinals. Rockies losing to the Dodgers 4-1. A's up 5-1 over the Blue Jays. Manoah had a little bit of a rough start, cost me some money. And the Twins currently winning 3-2 over the White Sox in the top of the 10th inning. So, lots of interesting stuff around the game of baseball today. Like I said, not all of them are quite finished yet, but one of the first games to finish up today, the Mariners and the Padres. One of the most exciting players to watch in all of baseball. I feel like I kind of said moist right there. I meant most. One of the most exciting players to watch in baseball right now is Julio Rodriguez. Absolutely elite outfielder, rookie, prospect, whatever you want to call him for the Seattle Mariners. Leading rookies in just about every stat. He had a 2-run moonshot in that one off the Western Metal Supply Company building. Is the American League Rookie of the Year basically in Julio's house already? Is it his to lose, barring major injury? What do you think?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I would say so. I would say I think his competition is Jeremy Pena. Realistically, that's probably the only person I could see that would surpass him. But I mean, numbers wise, performance wise lately, definitely his to lose. Very exciting guy to watch. And yeah, man, that's basically what I think.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely in his favor at this moment.
Yeah, there's definitely not much of a conversation. I mean, as an Angels fan, I'm terrified of this man. He strikes fear into my heart. Like, he's just going to be an absolute pain in the ass. I finally know what people feel like when they face the Angels. Whenever Julio Rodriguez comes up, man, he's a joy to watch. The game's better with him in it, so hopefully he keeps this up. I think he'll be in LA. I'll probably see him at the All-Star game, so that'll be pretty cool. He's having a great start to his career, that's for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Moving on to a Southern California team in Northern California team in the San Francisco Giants, losing their 8th out of their last 10 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, Madison Bumgarner got the win in this one, get a little revenge game on his former team. But the Giants are starting to concern me a little bit. I'm curious your opinion on this. basically flat out, who are the Giants? Are they the team that swept the Dodgers, or are they the team that can't beat the Arizona Diamondbacks? What are your thoughts?
This is gonna sound like kind of a cop-out answer. I do think though, like legitimately, that they are more of when I think of Giants right now, I think of a mid team. I mean, realistic. Like I think they have, kind of gone against people's expectations to be, contenders in the West this year. It seems to me like kind of the Padres and Dodgers are really gonna be fighting that one out. Most likely LA. But yeah, man, I have to say I'm a little disappointed. I really love watching the Giants be successful. They're one of my favorite teams aside from the Angels there. So yeah, man, I would say they're kind of somewhere in the middle of there, but you can't be losing these games to the D-backs. They're not a good team. So I would expect the Giants to be performing a lot better, and they're not, which kind of sucks. So I don't know. What are you thinking on this one?
Oh man, I don't know. I still have faith in the Giants, and I still see it every now and then. But man, their pitching has just been rough lately, and I don't know why. They've got a lot of good names, and they did a lot last year with hardly any names. Kevin Gossman's pretty much the only major guy they lost after last season, and they added Rodon, who looked like a Cy Young candidate early in the season, but now he's having a rough time out there. He actually had the loss in this game, 2.87 ERA on the year still, but Alex Cobb's having a rough year. He was great with the Angels last year, and if you're good with the Angels, you would assume you'd be phenomenal with the Giants, especially in a hitter-friendly park, but they just haven't been able to put it all together. I still think the pieces are there to compete and maybe even compete for the division, and they're still over 500, but it's very tough to see them playing like this. The offense needs to get it going, maybe add a couple of pieces if they think they can contend. Otherwise, they're going to have to start selling some pieces off. So
Yeah. And like you said, the pieces are there, so I guess it begs the question of like, do you maybe think this has something to do with the coaching staff? I love Kapler, management wise, but do you think maybe this has something to do with, pitching coaches, anything like that? I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
I mean, it's kind of weird because we've seen a lot of players go to San Francisco and revitalize their career, so it's hard to imagine that they could, go downhill that quickly. I will say maybe their hitting coaching could use a little bit of work because their bats really haven't seemed to be that impressive outside of maybe Jock Peterson. But yeah, it's overall I think they will get back on track at some point. Will they win the National League West again? Probably not, but I could see them as a wild card team. I do think they need to add a couple more pieces to be competitive, specifically in the starting pitching department, which is kind of surprising. I didn't think I'd be saying that at the beginning of the year.
totally. Yeah, we'll have to see, man. I really hope that they turn it around, though. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah. Well, moving on to a great pitching performance in Tampa Bay. Well, actually, was this in Tampa Bay? Sorry, in Boston. The Red Sox shutting out the Rays, who have just finished stomping on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Red Sox had a really slow start to the year. People were starting to talk about Xander Bogaerts getting traded, selling off some of their big pieces. But all of a sudden, the Red Sox, I'd argue, are one of the hottest teams in all of baseball. I feel like every time I do my power rankings, they're 8-2 in their last 10. They're just tearing the cover off the ball. They're pitching just good enough to win. With the Red Sox being as hot as they are, we've seen the Blue Jays be really streaky this year. The Rays have been, hot and cold. Which of these teams, and I don't want a political answer here. I don't want to, they're all great teams. I think they could finish anywhere. No. Who is finishing second in this division? End of the year, game 162. Who is finishing second in this division?
What? The Red Sox. Okay, I like them. I like how they're riding this hot streak. And like you said, man, I think some of these other teams have been hot and cold. And I don't know. I feel like people are sleeping on them. I really do. That's where my heart tells me to go to Boston on this one. I feeling it. There's not much else to say. I feel it. Yeah. I like the way they're playing. That's it.
I'm gonna fully disagree with you. Okay. I honestly feel like the Blue Jays would have been the popular answer, but I'm going with the Tampa Bay Rays, baby. You can't really see it very well, but Rays up there on the wall. Rays up.
See it, gotcha.
Bro. Actually, I don't know if that was in the frame, but besides the point, the Rays. This is the same thing we thought about the Rays last season. We were like, oh, their bats aren't very good, but their pitching's good, but they don't have any big names. They're getting Tyler Glasnow back. They just got Shane Baz back. Shane McClanahan's the American League Cy Young winner, as long as he stays healthy. Drew Rasmussen's been fantastic for them. Bullpen arms galore out there. All they got to do is, last year they traded for Nelson Cruz. All they got to do is make a deal like that. You got Isaac Paredes tearing the cover off the ball. Wander Franco is a generational talent. You got plenty of pieces there to compete. They just got to go out, maybe get a bat. Honestly, I don't know if they would pull the trigger on something like this, but Wilson Contreras would be a great fit over there. They need some help at the catching position. There's plenty. Josh Bell would be a great fit in Tampa Bay, in my opinion. There's a lot of good pieces around that I think would be great fits for the Rays, and I'm excited to see what they do. I think they'll make another move, and I think they might even challenge the Yankees towards the end of the season if the Yankees tend to fall off. But the Yankees have a kind of a stranglehold over that first place spot right now, so it's hard to imagine that. But I do think the Rays are going to finish second in this division.
Gotcha.
And we could definitely see the Blue Jays doing it, but you got the Red Sox, I got the Rays. I picked the Rays to win the division at the beginning of the year, so they,
True.
I do have a horse in this race.
You had a Rays and Giants, is that correct?
Rays and Giants in the World Series, that is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Now moving on to the hottest team in all of baseball. Number 1 at my power rankings. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. Great video.
Yep.
The Houston Astros. Best team in baseball, in my opinion. Got off to a shaky start today. Jake Odorizzi taking the bump. Jake Odorizzi should be DFA'd. I don't think he has any spot on that Astros roster right now. Maybe they could try to stretch him into a bullpen arm, but just doesn't seem like it. Got off to a 5-0 deficit early against the Kansas City Royals. Didn't look so great, and in typical Houston Astros fashion, man, they battled, and won it on a Yordan Alvarez walk-off dinger. Now, Yordan Alvarez, man, I think he is so clearly the best hitter in all of baseball right now. I think if you're going to... Shohei Ohtani's the MVP, in my opinion. I don't think there's definitely a debate. Some people don't agree with me, but I think that he's the MVP. If you're going to make a case for Aaron Judge, you got to make a case for Yordan Alvarez. Because if you're saying Judge doesn't need to be a two-way player, then I'm getting into my opinion. I'm asking you, should Yordan Alvarez get consideration for the MVP, even though he's a primary DH?
Totally. I think he definitely deserves that consideration. He's definitely a guy that, just the Angels, they're the Angels, and, we've talked about that a lot on this channel here, but, I do realistically watch those games more. The Angels are playing. Anytime he comes to the plate, I'm expecting something. I'm expecting a double in the gap. I'm expecting a home run. I think he hits more well-rounded, if that makes sense. He's a power hitter, but at the same time, he hits more well-rounded than I think someone like Aaron Judge does. So absolutely, if he's in the contention, right, Aaron Judge, where he's a, high strikeout, a lot of, really far home runs. I think Yordan Alvarez is just, I would rather put him in my lineup than Aaron Judge. So if they're considering Judge in this, then absolutely, man. Like I definitely can see Alvarez in that consideration as well.
Yeah, it's a really crazy conversation, and it's as a Shohei Ohtani apologist, who goes out and says Shohei for MVP, I should be on the corner handing out pamphlets or something. When somebody talks about, tries to make an argument for Aaron Judge, my immediate comeback now is, okay, well, if Judge is more valuable than Ohtani and he doesn't even pitch, then Yordan Alvarez is more valuable than Judge, even though he doesn't play the field, because he's a better hitter. Judge hit ball far. Yes, Judge hit ball far. I agree. Hit ball very far sometimes. Judge, great baseball player. I'm a big Aaron Judge guy. I have no hard feelings towards Judge. I'm not anti-Aaron Judge for MVP.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, Yordan Alvarez is hitting better than Judge right now, and Shohei Ohtani is a two-way player. So either way you slice it right now, I think Yordan should either be the front runner or Shohei Ohtani should be the front runner. I don't think Yordan Alvarez is twice the hitter that Shohei is. That's why I would give it to Shohei right now, but I digress.
Yeah. It seems to be, I think I would be inclined to agree with the ranking of, so to speak, of like Ohtani, Alvarez, and Judge kind of in that second and third spot if we're going to consider those outside factors. But like you said, I do think it's Ohtani's to lose in this situation, at least from like my perspective and what I think should happen. But there's got to be a conversation, right? Because like you said, he is hitting better than Aaron Judge, and similar to how Tyler Wade, who's just DFA'd, run fast, Aaron Judge hit ball
Yep.
far, but that doesn't necessarily equate to like the well-rounded, like lethal bat in the lineup. And again, Judge, great hitter, but this is
Yeah,
strictly for like
we're not
MVP.
taking, yeah, we're not trying to
No,
take
absolutely.
shots at Aaron Judge. He's still, top 3 for sure. Top
Yeah,
3, unanimous third place MVP. But that's where I have him right now. At this very
respect. Yeah.
moment in time, man, Yordan Alvarez is the most feared hitter in baseball. I don't think there's a debate. We've always talked about Juan Soto being the best hitter in baseball, or Mike Trout, but both of those guys are struggling big time right now, and Yordan Alvarez looks cool as a cucumber at the dish. Doesn't look phased at
Yeah.
all. His outs are like 112 miles per hour every time, it feels like.
Yeah, he's seeing the ball really well for sure.
So, anyways, that's our MVP conversation. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments as well. We do have one more topic of conversation before we head out of here and before I get ready to get packed for Miami, and that is the Cleveland Guardians. I feel like we talk about them a good amount on the show. They're a pretty interesting team. Very polarizing team, though. Not polarizing, streaky, I guess would be a good word for it. They just dropped 2 games in a row today to, in my opinion, probably one of the worst 5 teams in all of baseball, the Detroit Tigers. I think I had them at like 28 in my power rankings, something that low.
Yeah.
Well, they just lost 2 in a row to them. And, it's not necessarily a huge deal. Good teams lose to the Dodgers got swept by the Pirates, but the Guardians really have a decision to make right now. They got a really cheap owner. They have absolutely no payroll whatsoever. They could be buyers or they could be sellers at this deadline. If you're the Cleveland Guardians right now, what do you think? Are you planning on buying or are you planning on selling?
I mean, given the consideration of the ownership, like I think this might not happen, but if I'm in that position, you got to be buyers. I mean, I think the fact that they are holding their own here against, and this could change obviously, but at this current time, they're holding their own sort of against the White Sox in that division, who were definitely, at least, from my point of view, slated to be potentially in first place, if not, the best team in the Central, up there with the Twins at least. So, they're in second place right now. I don't see a reason to kind of give up on that, especially when they're kind of, I think defying expectation kind of in the opposite way of the White Sox maybe not living up to that expectation in that division. So, I mean, I think they should be buyers here, but whether or not that's going to happen, I guess, is up to sort of the track record of the ownership, which, as we know, is not very willing to spend money, has a low payroll. So,
I mean, they've
sure.
bought in the past. We saw them trade for Josh Donaldson. We saw them. I believe I can't remember if they signed or traded for Edwin Encarnacion, but we've seen them add before. It's not unheard of, but like the way that what's his name, the Dolan family, I believe, the way that they spend money, it's just the way they kind of hoard prospects as well. I think they're in a good position to do either. They definitely have some pieces they could sell off right now and get some good returns on, but overall, I think they're in a position where this is a very winnable division, but it depends. Do they want to be division winners or do they want to be World Series favorites? I don't think they're in a position where they could make themselves World Series favorites. That's kind of my problem with them buying.
I was just going to say, like, my last thoughts were, even if, like, right, so another perspective from the ownership here could be, even if we end up, top in this division, let's say that happens. This division is, generally speaking, like a lot weaker than the tops of the West and the East. So do you really think, I mean, just like calling it what it is here, like they don't stand a chance, man. Like they don't. So unless like some drastic change happened to the team. So is that worth buying over? That's kind of the reservation I have, at least, as well.
Yeah, I feel you there, man. Well, we'll have to see. It's going to be an interesting trade deadline. I feel like there's a lot of teams on the fence right now. That extra wild card definitely going to make it interesting. But that is going to be all for us today here at Good Morning Baseball. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, help it reach more baseball fans, and subscribe for more daily MLB content. Big shout out to Thrive Fantasy for sponsoring these videos. The link is in the description. Go sign up, place some bets. I am in the process of winning $200, but Alek Manoah doesn't like seeing me win money. He couldn't get 6 strikeouts against the A's. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? But we'll be placing some player props later in the week. I've been Nolan. That's been Frank. Thanks again for watching some Good Morning Baseball here, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.